In a matter of just days, the president effectively set the stage for a trade war by announcing plans to tax aluminum and steel imports. He appeared to assume positions on gun control that are toxic to even his own party. And he accused Republicans of fearing the NRA, only to then cast doubt about his views by having a, quote, great meeting with the group. He criticized his attorney general, Jeff Sessions, publicly. This is for the third time in a month. And unlike other attacks, Sessions actually defended himself this time around by vowing to do his job with, quote, integrity and honor. The head of the NSA, Admiral Mike Rogers, claimed that the president had not instructed him to disrupt the cyber threat posed by Russia as the midterm elections near. And one of the president's closest aides, Hope Hicks, announced her resignation just a day after she testified in front of the House Intelligence Committee and said that she had told white lies for the president. Reports suggest that his national security advisor, H.R. McMaster, is on thin ice and could be the administration's next high-level departure. The White House has denied this. And then there's his son-in-law and advisor, Jared Kushner. He had his security clearance downgraded and faces questions over whether he was targeted for manipulation. His chief of staff, John Kelly, joked that having to work in the White House was punishment by God. Kelly also admitted that the Rob Porter fallout wasn't handled great, but at the same time said he has nothing to resign over. Erin Delmore is a senior political correspondent for Bustle. She joins us now. I know there have been lots of changes over the past year with this administration, but did this week feel very different?
It's a heavy week, not only because of the number of names you just mentioned, but because of their weight in this White House and because of their proximity and their personal closeness to the president. Whether you want to talk about Jared Kushner, family to the president, Hope Hicks, like family with the president, not only from the start of his presidency or the start of his campaign, but from the time he was in business. Or you could look at John Kelly, chief of staff. There's no one with a more influential position in this White House. You go down the line, Jeff Sessions, H.R. McMaster, Gary Cohn. That's why this week and why these disturbances are so heavy in this White House.
You talk about Jared Kushner and these allegations of potential manipulation by foreign governments. The Qataris have come forward saying that they feel that they were adversely affected because the finance minister didn't push forward a deal for Kushner's businesses. What do you make of this? And is there any sort of impact with the Mueller investigation here?
Reportedly, Mueller is looking into Kushner's business dealings and how they might have intersected with his work at the White House or during the transition. That's a major storyline in the Kushner case. The other is his security clearance that's been downgraded. Especially, he's been stuck with an interim clearance, but has had access to top secret, high-level information. Those are just a couple of the issues facing the Kushners right now. Again, their status in the White House is being chipped away at just a little bit as you see these Kushner loyalists, this New York faction, the Trump family circle, being depleted in the White House.
So Hope Hicks, his probably most trusted advisor, been with him from the very beginning. Do you think when she walks, will she continue to be loyal to President Trump?
It's a big question that we're asking right now. By every account, everyone expected her to be the last one there to turn out the lights, as close to the president as anybody in this White House. And she's shown her loyalty time and time again. But remember, she came into this White House as a young staffer, politically inexperienced, and filled the role, rose to the challenge certainly, but perhaps doesn't have some of the understandings of the intricacies of what could be involved in this investigation. There are a lot of questions right here. There are some key moments that are going to be of interest to the Mueller team. One is the drafting of that Trump Tower meeting statement above Air Force One, where the president defended his son, said Russian adoption's nothing to do with dirt on HRC. You remember this. That's a moment that's going to be in Mueller's focus. But there are questions here on how loyal Hope Hicks, or frankly any of the White House loyalists, can stay to the president. If Mueller wants to compel testimony, he can. He has the authority, and he's bound to go deeper into a reach than we've seen the House Intelligence Committee do. We've seen people come there, refuse to answer questions. We've seen many White House aides say executive privilege bars them from doing so. And then we've seen Congress take a step back. They subpoenaed Steve Bannon, didn't subpoena everyone else, haven't really compelled any punishment there, held him in contempt truly. So you're going to see different levels of weight being thrown around in this investigation. Mueller to be the most forward-looking.
Erin Delmore, thank you for joining us, Erin.
Thanks.
And we want to return to breaking news out of the White House. We've learned that shots have reportedly been fired near the North Lawn. The president's not at the White House. He's actually at his resort in Mar-a-Lago. Brian Fuse is a cameraman with CBS News and is at the White House. Brian, what have you been told?
Well, we were in here about 20 minutes ago, and a gentleman, uniformed police officer, a Secret Service police officer, came in and told us to go down to the basement. There were shots fired on the North Lawn.
So Brian, is there any sense right now, do you continue to remain on lockdown?
We are in lockdown, but now they allowed us up into the briefing room, and I actually have a camera, a live shot going out to down to the bureau with police standing by with their long rifles.
Brian, we know